So who are these people defending him? Well, it seems to be it seems to be this. It really seems to me that there is a nationalistic tenor to the defense of Milo coming from his fellow Brits, his fellow Brit trolls, to be honest with you. Those Brits that have no influence in their internal politics there across the pond, but see a perfect opportunity here in the United States to troll America with their bullshit. Those are the people, two in particular, who have come to the defense of Milo, along with, thousands of nameless people who are pretty irrelevant to this conversation. But the people with platforms who are defending this guy are those Brits. And here they are on your screen. You have, where's what I'm looking for? Sargon of Akkad, this guy. He says, I'm not defending Milo. I'm expressing how personally I feel that what I'm watching is horrifying. And he goes on to say, imagine how awful it must be to not only be a victim of a pedophile, but then to have the media call you a pedophile. Milo goes on to say, politics and politics alone. This is discussing the situation. Nobody talking about giving a shit about stopping pedophiles. And then he goes on to say, it's shameful to watch the ever compassionate left turn a victim into Emmanuel Goldstein. Now, Emmanuel Goldstein, I'm not too familiar with who he is, but if I'm not mistaken, context clues tells me that he must have been somebody who's a pedophile. Sorry if I'm not up on my Emmanuel Goldstein. Whatever. Why defend this guy at all? Why defend Milo at all? If you heard the video yourself, you yourself should be opposing him at this point. I mean, for the love of God, the Nazi in chief, the neo-Nazi in chief, Richard Spencer, the alt-right Nazi, him, previously supported Milo, and now he's saying, I can't roll with Milo. You're on the wrong side of history with a Nazi. Sargon, would you think this is all politics? Or do you think that because there's a political tint to it and there's a political, yes, I'm dancing on his political grave. Like I'm really quite, when I discuss the story, I'm legitimately disgusted. But when I think about who this piece of shit is, yes, I am dancing on his grave because he has no business, his political grave, because he has no business in our national discourse. So why defend him at all? Why tacitly or directly or indirectly defend him? And here goes his fellow Brit defending him even more. Paul Joseph Watson, all of the journals' outrage over Milo were noticeably quieter about 1,400 children being abused by pedophiles in Rotherham. Wonder why? Well, that's a fabulous straw man that you constructed to deflect us from the conversation about your comrade, your ideological comrade, your national comrade, and your bosom buddy Milo. Should we not? Can we not discuss this person who is gaining national attention, getting a national platform just on Bill Maher on Friday, getting ready to be on CPAC with President Trump on the same stage and platform as the sitting president? Should we not discuss his pedophilic musings because of other incidents of pedophilia? Straw men, that's a game for children. You should try it again, and try it when your arguments and your logic grow up. Let's see. Now, this is not a direct support of Milo, but this comes from our president, Trump. This is what he tweeted after the Berkeley incident. He said, if UC Berkeley does not allow free speech and practices violence on innocent people with different points of view, no federal funds, ? This came as a result of the protest that turned violent. The protest, yeah, well, we'll leave it there. We'll have that discussion later. But the protest that turned violent at UC Berkeley when protesting Milo's speech there before college Republicans. And at that speech, Milo, amongst other things, was going to out several undocumented students and several trans students, if I'm not mistaken. But because people protested him, Donald Trump sees that as an opportunity to attack UC Berkeley and to try to strong arm UC Berkeley into allowing, and see, and finish that thought. I'm done with that thought. New thought here. This goes to this juvenile interpretation of freedom of speech. It is a juvenile interpretation of freedom of speech to assert or believe that we have to give a platform to anyone and everyone. And it is such a ubiquitous train of thought that even the ACLU stumbled into the conversation on the side of Milo because everyone should have free speech. Oh, I'm sorry. The First Amendment only guarantees free speech in terms of the government. There's stuff that you cannot say and be expected to be given other people's platforms. It's that simple. There's no reason for us to even talk about it anymore. It's done. You can't say certain things on your job. You can't say certain things and be caught saying it and then expect to given someone's platform. Like, CPAC is full of shit and all things considered, but they made the right call finally. Never mind his racism, his misogyny, his transphobia, and his sympathies with a Nazi sympathizer. Never mind all that. But finally, they said this is one bridge too far. And then, you know what? I agree with them. Like, holy shit. Like, that video is beyond disgusting. I don't care. I don't care if he was a victim because he has transformed into a victimizer. That's not, being a victim does not allow you the space to become a victimizer. It doesn't. How many people have been assaulted as children that have gone through all types of hell, therapy, time, and never became the victimizer themselves? I'm sorry, but I wish I had some music because Milo is disgusting and he should never have been given a platform. He should never have been afforded a stage to speak to the international community or the American community because he's irrelevant in Britain. But he should never have been given this space to spew his hatred because his hatred has been deep-seated and it has affected so many marginalized communities. They don't care about the marginalized communities. But I guess now that he's gone one bridge too far for conservatives, finally now they're saying enough's enough and Milo has to go. Well, enough of the serious talk. Pop your bottles, pop your champagne bottles, dance a jig on his political grave because Milo is out of our national discourse and he is going to be shunned. I mean, it's not going to happen overnight, right? He'll be here tomorrow. He'll be here for a couple of weeks, but this is pretty much the nail in his political coffin. And you know what, Milo? Congratulations. You played yourself and you earned this.